Hey Wings, how's everything going this week? Hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're loving your Boost Life book. I'm loving mine. I added a ribbon. It's one of the things that I really wanted to be part of the Boost Life book, but in the production process, which was kind of grueling, when you do something new for the first time, it doesn't always go exactly how you want it to go. So working on the second year this year and excited about that. But I wanted there to be a ribbon in here. So I went ahead and glued my own ribbon on. I used a little spot of hot glue gun and I have a ribbon now. So if you want to do that and you're crazy like me and you need a ribbon in your Boost Life book, that's one way to do it. But I hope you're loving it. I'm loving mine. I do love writing in it. And I love that it's an actual physical book now and that I'm using it all the time. So focus of the week this week, I really wanted to talk about this concept and this thought of like speaking up for ourselves and what that means, right? I think some of us, so if you're good at it, you're good at it. Like you've nailed it. You've already got it done. You're on your way. All's well in the world, right? And if you're not so good at it, chances are you really struggle with it. And it's just one of those things that at this point, I think one of the things that's really hard about it is everybody around you has become accustomed to who they think you are, who you are to them. And one of the things that you might not be is someone who goes out of their way to, make conflict or create waves or things like that. So it kind of becomes twofold. It comes from you yourself. You might not intentionally be that person. You might not have a propensity to bring that up. It might bring you angst. It might, you might have everything sort of brewing inside of you when something comes up that you need to address. But it also may be coming from an outside source as well. The people around you are not familiar with that side of you, or you've not, done that in the past. So in that, it becomes this thing that becomes really, really hard to change, really hard to change. But I want to actually talk about two pieces to this. So number one, the thought process that it doesn't have to be a confrontation. I kind of always go back to Brene Brown with this one. And the first time I ever heard her concept of the story I'm telling myself. So Brene talks about how in certain scenarios, she would get herself so worked up. And just hearing her tell the story made me laugh out loud. In her episode that she has on Netflix called A Courage, I literally had moments of just laughter because she is putting into words some of the things I've done through my life where, I'm building up this whole thing to be bigger than it needs to be. And in that, I've got this whole story going on in my own head of how hard it's going to be to bring it up. And it gave me this opportunity to think about it of, I don't have to build that story up. When those things come into my head, I don't have to say, it's this, it's this, it's that. Those are all guesses. Typically, those are all guesses as to what's going on, and you don't know what's happening in the other person's life or in their day, and they may not be thinking about it the same way that you are. So try really hard not to tell yourself the story and get yourself all worked up. But the other piece of it for me is that you already own it. Like you don't have to fight for it. It doesn't have to be a fight because you already own it. It's yours. And putting that into perspective has allowed me to sort of make statements versus make a fight. And normally in this moment, I would say, does that make sense? And you'll see I paused because in my Boost Life book, I have don't say, does that make sense? And that's one of the habits that I'm trying to break from last week. So just little piece there, but I think I'm wanting to see that it's resonating and that overall it's a fight that doesn't have to be a fight. It can just be a statement and you can just state the words. You don't have to actually fight for anything. And when you bring it that way, a lot of times it can diffuse everything. I think sometimes when we bring a fight and we bring that attitude and we bring that energy, we don't realize the energy we bring to something might actually be the energy that we receive back. So putting that into perspective, realizing that you already own it, you can speak up for yourself because it doesn't have to be a fight. It's yours. And you can just state the statement. So that's this week. I hope you guys are all doing great. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, guys.